หรืออีเมล laoyouthradio@gmail.com
Sky Internet Fiber
ผู้ให้บริการอินเทอร์เน็ตสายใยแก้วความไวสูง
Sky Internet Fiber
อินเทอร์เน็ตเสถียรความไวเต็มสปีด
Sky Internet Fiber
ใส่ใจบริการหลังการขาย
Sky Internet Fiber
กับราคาที่สุดคุ้ม
ติดต่อสอบถามข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมได้เลยที่เบอร์1833 ย้ำ1833 Sky โทรคมอินเทอร์เน็ตไฟเบอร์
21st Century School, Vientiane's premier English school. Every one of our teachers is a native English speaker with many years of experience and are from England, America, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Why study English with a non-native speaker when you can learn with native teachers that are masters of grammar and pronunciation? What are you waiting for? Come and study English with the best. 21st Century School in Ban That Luang Thai, close to the Japanese Embassy. Call us now at 021-452-500, 021-452-500, or send a message to our Facebook page. We are waiting for you. เฮียนไหวเข้าใจไหวเป็นไหว 21st Century School
สบายดี
good not evening good afternoon everybody
Do.
now it's time for
English Chit-Chat Verbally again ลงสื่อให้กันอีกแล้ว It's very common because we have so many English programs and the name is very similar that's why we always mix it up
English Chit-Chat or Let's Speak English
it's quite the same
similar it's brothers and sisters
โดย
anyway today is two of us again
Yes I'm very happy to meet you again
happy to be back
I haven't seen you in the program for a month
a month
Yes a month Actually like both of us came to the program but just because our time didn't match to each other and today I'm so happy it's a perfect time it's a lovely time
yeah of course I have to come because the guest today is like everybody's like idol
many people are waiting for this episode including me
totally agree no?
Yes
Yeah, so but first of all, before getting to know our guests today, we would like to thank to our sponsors from the Sankerdas or the 21st Century School.
ขอบใจได้ล่ะโรงเรียนศตวรรษที่21
เรียนไว้เป็นไว้
เข้าใจไว้ต้องเรียนศตวรรษที่21
Whether you are looking for general English course like in order to improve your English skills like speaking, listening, writing, reading, anything and also if you are having a plan to apply for any scholarship เนาะ IELTS คะแนน IELTS สำคัญที่สุดเลย or TOEFL they have the preparation course as well นะคะ
โดยแม่นแล้ว
so if you are interested feel free to contact โรงเรียนศตวรรษที่21 or the 21st Century School by visiting them on their Facebook page just type โรงเรียนศตวรรษที่21 or 21st Century School or visit them at ธาตุหลวงใต้
โดนแล้ว
ไผ่พะกายไปกันมาก็เห็น
ถูกต้องใกล้ๆแถวทัดเดินทัดหลวงที่ว่ามีบุญหากระโจบไปเนาะ
แม่เมื่อวานตอนไปบุญก็เห็นเนี่ยสตาร์ที่
แม่แล้วเนาะ
งานเข้าไปอวบกอด
ขอบใจอะไร Thank you so much for sponsor us
and ที่ขาดไม่ได้ก็คือ Sky Internet Fiber no very very fast and very smooth thank you very much and if you're interested to have a fast internet in your house or your office feel free to contact Sky Telecom
ด้วย
1833
yeah ฝากกันไว้เนาะ and thank you UK Embassy in Vientiane as well for supporting usโดย really oh I'm so excited
that's why I'm going to be the one who introduce our guest today
yeah I have to say that our wedding has come to the end because he's here
I can see you're very
I know
No, okay, then.
Please.
So our guest today, actually, I've seen him for a long time, and in many events as an interpreter.
Yes.
From Lao to English, English to Laos.
Yes.
I would say that I was very impressed every time that I was in the events.
Yes, he's one of the top 10 interpreters in Lao PDR, especially in the simultaneous interpreter.
And นอกจากจะเป็น senior interpreter แล้วเนาะเพิ่นก็ยังเป็น CEO of for the Akara Seoul
Wow.
Limited. So if you want to hear more about our guests, about Akara,
Yes.
about interpretation, and also about effective communication, because our guest today is going to be the one who like give you clear answers and more insights. No? So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sanker Latthanhot.
Yes, I Sanker.
Should I walk in there? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, สวัสดี
สวัสดี
Thank you for
Welcome.
coming.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank
Yes.
you for coming.
you for
It's our pleasure
coming.
to have you here.
It's my pleasure as well.
It's our honor and I'm super excited, I can say.
I'm very excited as well. It's my first time.
Your first time
On the radio.
Yeah, radio, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, happy.
That.
เก็บอากาศบ่ได้แล้ว
Sanker, so will you please introduce yourself to our audiences, please? Like who you are, what you're doing in a remarkable way.
In a remarkable way. Well, I think my name is Sankerdas, Latthanhot.
Latthanhot.
I go by Kerr, or Kerr, Kerr. A lot of people call me Kerr, usually my families. I am a self-proclaimed CEO of my own company, so I can call myself anything. But basically, I'm an owner of a company called Akara, Seoul Company Limited, บริษัท Akara จำกัดผู้เดียว But I do have a co-founder who helped me set up everything, and we're working together right now. So that's a bit about me. I'm Sankerdas. I go by Kerr. I do interpretation, and I have this small company called Akara.
Akara. Wow. What a lovely name, I can say. A very unique name.
Unique name.
Yes,
Yeah.
Akara.
Akara.
So
I thought you said his name.
no. So can us call you I Sanker?
Sure, yes.
Okay,
yes,
I
yes,
Sanker.
yes.
Right.
Of course.
But I think a lot of audiences might wonder why your name is like I Sanker, right? Because it's not like really
A typical Lao name. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
quite different from the Lao people. So why your name is Sanker?
Well, because my parents really like Indian movies.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No, but I'm half.
like me too. That's why my name.
I'm half Indian. My dad is Indian. My mom is Lao, and in fact, my mom is from Phongsali. She is ethnic minority called Punoi, Pao Punoi, and they met, and they had my 3 brothers, and they had me, and they named us after, I believe, I'm not that sure, I haven't really done my research, but they named me after a god of Friday in Hinduism. I think it's supposed to be Shanga.
But it's hard to pronounce in Lao.
Yeah, in Lao, that's why we dropped the edge. It becomes Sanker. Yeah.
Sanker.
And the Das part is basically means like servant. So I'm the servant of God, basically. That's the kind of meaning.
Cool. So as you say that you are half Lao and Indian. So how was your childhood like? And what language do you speak with your parents and your siblings?
Well, I'm supposed to be able to speak Lao, Hindi, English, and Punoi language, but I can only speak Lao. The thing is that my dad never taught me any Hindi, and I grew up in a very Lao culture. Most of my Indian side are in India, and that's why I didn't have the opportunity to associate or to work or to live and enjoy with them, and therefore I might be racially half, but I'm culturally Lao. That's what I call myself. So that's why.
I see. And are you saying that your first language is not English as well?
No,
Oh,
no,
wow.
no.
Because at first I think that since your career is about like interpreting from Lao to English, so I thought at first that maybe your first language is English. That's why you chose to follow this path. But it's not that so.
No. And then I think it's I think that there's some also like misconception about like translation and interpretation business that you have to be good at English. I mean it's prerequisite, like it's something that you must have, but I think more importantly you must be proficient in your own mother tongue. And as you might have recognized that not a lot of Lao people are good at our own language.
True.
That's my
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
This is so true. Yeah. But did you start studying English since you were very young, and were you able to speak, you know, like fluent English since you were very young, or how is it like?
Yeah, you should have seen this. I mean, when you were in high school, they have this friendship book, right?
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Okay. So I was, you know, they call Kadet, right? I was trying to write in Lao.
Okay. What is Kadet, by the way, in English?
No, I think it's very cultural, and cultural word might not have a direct translation usually.
Exaggerate? No.
No.
You have that exaggerate, but I mean it can be pretentious as well.
Yes, exactly.
It can be pretentious. But it was like I was pretending that I was good at English. I wrote in English, but then after like 7 or 8 years later I came back and then we had this reunion. We brought this friendship book and I saw all of my English was really poor. The writing was really bad. But the thing is that I didn't grow up speaking English at all. It's just Lao, not even Hindi, even though my dad speaks Hindi, but he speaks Lao with me and my brothers. And that's why I didn't pick up the accent as well, I would say. Otherwise I would have a little bit of the Indian accent in my English. If he had taught me back when I was young. Yeah, so but later on I learned a little bit in high school. You go to all of these schools, just like the 21st century. I used to study there as well.
Oh, me too.
For like a semester or something like that. And then I was not a good student. That's why I didn't continue. But later on in years, I developed the language and I developed the affection of the language.
Right.
Then I started to get better and better.
Oh, that's so impressive. That's so impressive because in the first place, I also thought at Evali, I thought like your first language was English, and then you study Lao, and then because of that you were very fluent in English. But so impressive. And about your yearbook, I would say fake it until you make it. It's fine for our listeners all out there as well. If you just write or speak something wrong, it's fine. You need to pretend to be good, and one day you will be good.
Like the word Kadet, actually for me it's positive, right? Like I have always been what's wrong with it?
I love that.
Especially if you want to speak English. I mean, like you have to at first have the confidence and to say that you can speak and start speaking, no? That is very good from you, Sanker. Thank you for sharing.
Man, Sanker can be a good role model for anybody who are studying English and you want to be fluent in English. Use Sanker as your role model. He started from the scratch and see now, he's one of the top 10 entrepreneurs in Laopedia, guys. Who knows, maybe one day.
Who did the ranking? No.
Me, no.
Lao Youth Radio. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. So we're talking about your previous experiences. We have seen on your CV, and I found that maybe a couple years in the past you work with the communication fields.
Correct.
So at that time, why did you choose to study communication, and why did you choose to work with the communication?
Well, I mean, I started with communication quite accidentally. I mean, I was studying in English major. I mean, in the school that I went, they have only 2 majors, just business administration and English. I didn't like business at the time. I didn't know what to do in my life. I majored in English. And then I fall in love with it. And after graduation, like even before that, I taught young kids, like small kids, like ABC, very basic level before. And I started developing some experience working in a marketing company. And after I graduated, and I saw an I mean, you look for jobs, right? After graduation. And I found this advertisement. and they're asking for a communication officer. I didn't know what it is. I mean, communication could be anything, right? But then I look at the job description and the requirement. Okay, they want somebody who have studied journalism, communication, or English.
Yes.
I was like, okay, that I checked, the English part. So I applied for jobs and then a few, but then I got this one at an NGO, international NGO, and then when I got an interview and then they asked me about these things and then somehow I kind of fit the profile that they want because they want somebody who's good at English, good at writing. And then I brought with me, you know, these two books that I had an exchange study in the US before for a year.
Right.
And during that program I wrote 2 articles that were published in the school, they call school literally magazine, and in the county magazine. And then I brought it with me because I know I kind of assumed they would ask me about my writing,
that's
right?
smart.
I was like, okay, you asked me about my writing, I got all of these 2 pieces of evidences.
Wow.
And that's how I get into communication, and then I started learning about the communication, what it is. And then ever since I've been working in communication, developing my skills in communication in various aspects.
What is communication about, by the way?
Oh, 101.
Yeah, and I mean the basic is always the hardest, I would say. Communication is basically sending information, but effective communication is sending information in a way that the other people would understand you, the way you want to communicate to them. Because I mean a lot of communicators may have skills like artists. They are graphic designers, they are writers, they're journalists, they basically write stuff, even fictions and non-fictions. But the thing that I think that separates us, communicators and artists, is that artists communicate themselves in a way that they don't care about others because they want people to interpret. But us, communication people, needs to communicate in a way that the other side of the conversation, or the other side of the message must understand the way we want them to understand. That's the core communication, whether you are working in journalism or you're working in marketing, advertising, or just interpretation as well, right?
Like
So that's
for a mutual understanding.
yeah, like in technical terms they call reciprocal communication or two-way communication. Right? You don't just say things and don't care about whether people would understand you or not.
Then communication, like as at least for me, I think it's very important in every stage of life, I would say. So I don't know, like maybe can you have any advice or like any suggestions how can we as a person who is not majoring communication can actually develop our effective communication skills. Like for me, I have some problems personally because I think there might be something wrong with my receptor. I always interpret something like
In
a
a
bit
different way.
different from
way.
others, and I also found it hard to make others understand what I want to express. So that is why I'm here as a DJ, because I want to overcome that, right? So would you maybe share with the audiences how can they in their daily life can practice these kind of skills?
I think the most important part, the first thing, and I mean the most important part and might also be the easiest to begin with is to do not assume. Do not assume. Even like you're texting messages with your friends or your families, don't text in a way that you assume people would understand. You give them the context a bit.
That's a good tips.
Right? I mean unless you have been communicating a lot before, like a lot of people would, let's say public speaking, also a domain of communication. If I'm getting up and I'm talking about, today I'm going to be talking about the IFRS. And in IFRS it's that and that and that. What is IFRS? You should have give people the context. And a lot of people who work in one field, they're so used to using abbreviations and all of these things that they don't understand that people need to understand that not everybody is expert in what they are expert of or what they know. So first do not assume. That is important. If you don't know, if you don't understand, you are not sure, the most important part would be to ask. Right?
True.
Right? If I mean like I didn't know this. I mean I knew the location is here, but I texted the Dr. Bunteng, right? Okay, I was like, okay, is it really at this place?
Just make sure that you understand correctly.
Yeah, so yeah, I think first start with do not assume, and then you can see how it goes, and to see what are the things that you are good at, the things that you're not good at, and then practice what you're already good at, don't leave it, and continue to improve on what you are not so good at.
That's a good tips. And can we just think this way? We just assume, as you say, don't assume that other people will know in this, the thing that you're going to talk, and assume, not assume, just think that they don't know this.
Yeah.
Just think that they don't know, and when we explain, even they know or they knew or they don't know, at least they will just recap that concept again. Can we think in this way?
Yeah, I think definitely. You should actually do that, in fact. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this again, I think Albert Einstein used to say something that if you really understand something, right, you need to be able to explain to like a 5-year-old or something in the language that they would understand.
Like if you're not able to explain whatever in your mind, it means that you're not truly understanding it, right? And I just picked it up at this moment since we talked before coming here, right? And Sanker asked like what kind of audiences that we have on our program, right? So I think that add up to what you just mentioned about the audiences. I think also it's also very important to learn about the audiences first, right? Like who they are. And maybe we can later think if their level of understanding.
Yes. Wow, that's a very good point of being a effective communicators, because like not just only we study in the communication field, but in our daily life we need to understand we communicate to each other every single day, to like one person to other or one to the big group. So communication skill is a basic thing that help people to understand each other and make sure that we don't miss perception in something that we convey. It's very important.
Right, I totally agree. And Sanker, I have a question actually related to what you studied for your master. It's communication and development. What? Studies. I cannot understand my handwriting that
happen all the time.
So I wonder what were the reasons why you continue pursuing like your higher education in this field, communication. Was it because that job, or was it that you have seen some importance in communication?
Yeah, I it's probably because of the job that I had. Because it's a very junior position, and I wanted to you know to get myself promoted professionally and career. And then I was like, what I was lacking is that I mean and what I used to do, I would call corporate communication. What it is it's like advertising. I mean like if you want to make it very simple. And then my manager is leaving for her at the time she was leaving for her higher education, like further education, and I wanted to take her job, right? I want to get promoted to be the manager, and then they advertised for the managing level, and then I applied for it. And I mean the panel that interviewed me kind of accepted me, but there's also one of the senior members of the organization was not very convincing that I would be able to take the job. So I had another special interview with this gentleman, and he was saying that I was too inexperienced to take the job, and he was actually looking for somebody who is doing what he called and what is now called behavior change communication.
That's big.
Like to change people's behavior. And then I mean part of the TOR for that work has nothing to do with behavior change, but I have always been intrigued by how people develop all the things, but they don't actually assess whether they are actually effective. Let's say you are having a party, and they say, okay, to advertise my party, let's make brochures and distribute. And how do you make sure that the investment, the time, the money, that all of that thing would pay off at the end of the day? How effective it can be. So I want to learn that. That's why I applied to study further, and then I major in behavior change communication, which brings the psychological theory into the science of communication and create something new called social and behavioral change communication, and that's what I concentrated on during my master's.
Wow. Is that something that Akara is doing now as well?
No.
Or it's not?
No.
But it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Since you walked through the communication field a while, and what are the milestone moments that kind of changed your life and your career path from communicators, I would say, to being entrepreneur? How did you get involved in this industry?
Money.
Money! I love that.
It's a critical moment of my life. Do you want to shoot something? Okay.
I wish I could.
So yeah, I mean, I was young, and then I mean, I have always wanted to do good, like after graduation from my bachelor's, and I wanted to be a social worker. I don't care about money that much at the time. But until there's a financial shock, where my dad was not okay. He was admitted in ICU, intensive care, and he's the sort of, you know, like the leader of our family, is like the everything. And then I had to help out with my family has a small business, and then I had to help out. And I was like, okay, I have to leave that communication job to help out. But at the time, I also felt that I wanted to go and study further. But during that period where I have this transition, it was like a year or something, and then I met this brilliant gentleman that I would call the #1 interpreter in Laos. I'm not so sure if I'm supposed to say his name, but he's my business partner now. So I met him, and I was joking with him. We were doing these volunteer activities together. I was like, I'm jobless now. Give me something. If you have something. It's like, sure, you want to just tag along. And then that's how I started being an interpreter. And then I learned from him. He taught me. He mentored me. He shared the experience with me. So a lot of me today has to do with him.
Right
then
time,
you enter
right moment,
career.
right people.
Okay. Please excuse me before going further into talking about interpreting about Sanker, not as the best interpreter in Laos. There's a questions regarding the communication, I guess, from Dr. Woon-Heng, I guess.
I think
You're
so.
watching. Sanker, do you think the development of the internet and social media caused a change in the way that people communicate, or you work as or your work as interpreter?
Well, there are two parts of the question, right?
Sorry, I thought.
So I think in terms of, does it change the way people communicate? I mean, it revolutionized. It does not change. I mean, it transformed the way we interact with each other.
Yes.
I mean, I still remember my aunt and his uncle, my uncle, and her husband. He went to her former husband. He went to Japan to work, and in our family, like, we have a telephone at home, like a landline, and she had to come to wait at my house to get that phone call. And I mean, imagine now, wherever you are in this world, you can just
communicate.
One click, and then you can communicate. You can talk to each other. You can discuss with each other. You can have a meeting with each other. You can sell stuff. You can broadcast this thing. Right? So I mean, it does not only change. It enables all the possibilities in the world, I would say.
And what about you as being an interpreter? Like, the development of the internet can like somehow change your career path or somehow change your job?
Are you saying that they might be able to use AI next?
Oh yeah, I mean,
kidding.
No. I mean, that definitely people have to anticipate change. I mean, not only to make change or resist. Some people resist change, but you have to be able to anticipate and then adapt. Because I always believe that, like Charles Darwin always say, he said that the person who will survive is not the strongest but the most adaptable, right?
Yeah, right.
So when you can anticipate this kind of change, you need to be able to adapt, right? If AI is going to replace a lot of jobs, including interpretation, I have to be able to make sure that I can either do something or be able to use that AI for the same business.
Right.
Instead of doing my interpretation, I can own that device or that system or develop one, I guess, and then provide the services. And so change is not something we should be fear of. It should be something we should embrace.
Wow.
Yes. Good point.
Thank you for sharing.
Do it.
And the other audiences who are watching us right now, feel free to share any thoughts, feel free to comment on the comment sections and leave any questions that you want to ask us.
Many fans are watching us, especially your fans. Your fans ประมาณ50 คนแต่ว่าประมาณ2คนนี่มัน our fans.
All right.
So talking about being interpreter, I'm sure that many young generation has a dream to become the interpreter, especially the simultaneous interpreter.
Me too, but not just because of the financial reason. Like I just mentioned.
Actually, I have tried once to being the simultaneous interpreter, and I found that, whoa, man, it took a lot of energy.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, I feel very dizzy, very dizzy. So being interpreter, what kind of the personalities or what kind of the skills that we should practice or we should start in this moment to become the professional interpreter in the future?
Adding up to that, can anyone be an interpreter?
Yes. Or just want to be?
Well, I would say anyone can be anything. I mean, given I mean look at me. I mean, some people may think that I'm good at what I do. Some people may not think that way. But the thing is that I'm able to do what I do now because, I mean, work hard would be something that you don't even have to mention. You just have to work hard for anything. But I think one thing that can make you be a good or for you to practice to be a good interpreter is to all of that watching movies and I think very basic. You have fun, you enjoy, you learn stuff. Put on subtitle, you learn words and also pronunciation. Second of all, I think I find that not mixing language when you speak is important because
I did it all the time. I have to create. Okay.
I mean I did that a lot too back in the days but I had to change. For example, we may think ป่ะเดี๋ยวเฮาไป chill. So something like that, right? Instead of saying chill, what would you say?
ไป
ภาษาลาว
สบาย
บ่แม่นไปพักผ่อนหย่อนอารมณ์
ไปนั่งเล่นไปเล่นไป
What if I want to say like ด่า please เปิดเนี่ย
เปิด
หน่วยนั้นน่ะนะ
computer
computer it's in English no just kidding
No that's true ถ้าสิแปลเป็นลาว if you want to translate computer in ลาว so จักคิดไร right compute
จักคิดไร
Yes,
right
แค่ว่ะ
and computer คนคิดไร
But certain things especially nouns คำนาม or nouns it's okay to use that word ทับศัพท์ You won't translate pizza for example right you won't and I don't like to translate ตำบักหุ่ง
แป้งแผ่น ตำบักหุ่ง yes
right แต่ภาพายาสาระ it could be anything so ตำบักหุ่งis still ตำบักหุ่ง to me like all these things that are nouns and names you don't have to translate but if there's something that is related to action especially verb I would suggest that first start with not mixing the language would be because when you translate people don't expect you to mix a language right
true
especially when it has to do with you're promoting your culture you're interpreting about that or there's some political elements where you must use your own language right and it can be sensitive as well therefore you need to be able to know the words even though you don't know you must try to find if you can't find that means a lot of people cannot find it because it's your job already and then you try your best to find it and if you cannot find it it's very less likely that other people will be able to find it as well but unless it's like new terms technology related terms like you won't say upload and download คนขึ้นคนลง right you won't say that
man upload download ไม่
I don't
คน
even
ขึ้น
know
คน
it
ลง
now
man
right
Sounds
you just don't translate
Sound
that
ridiculous
stuff certain thing about technology you don't have to translate
right
for me like personally
Wow that's a good point word
Yeah, I think I should quit doing
I
that.
mix this up again
เว้ย
Yeah.
I think people might do a lot too with texting as well.
yes
Yeah. I mean we do it like subconsciously
Yes.
right we don't know
Agree.
because why we are living in a bilingual like bilingual culture we use technologies that are not available in Laos and it's perfectly understandable it's just that if we are conscious about it not try to do that it's going to help you with terminologies along the way yeah
Well
so
said.
that's yeah
from now on I will try my best not to just like
Mix the language.
Mix
Maybe starting from
the-
here from this
Man,
English
Beverly.
chit-chat.
man
no you can mix it but make a full sentence
Oh, right.
yeah
All right.
don't just change like
Good
one
point.
word
But
in
you can
that.
do it like Sanker, how do you feel right
it's fine
Yeah, it's cultural.
yes
Right? It's cultural. You and it's kind, it's polite to do that, and people expect you to do that, right?
I personally conscious about curious about your career during you being a simultaneous interpreter. Have you ever blank like just totally
Stuck?
blank and stuck don't know how to translate this one
or lost?
Yes. Have you ever faced this situation and how do you handle with this?
I think at the beginning, it was not lost, but I think it's more like I couldn't catch up with the speaker rather, and I had to be really quick. So I mean, there's a lot of situation. Like at the time, I remember the speaker was very fast, and I couldn't catch up. But even though, like in my head, I received information, internalized it, I understood it, but the process of converting it into Lao and then speaking it out. So that process was slow. I was very inexperienced at the time as well. Therefore, what I did was that after the speaker stopped, I had that window like 30 seconds before the next speaker or before something else. I used that time to recap.
Oh.
And I think that's what you have to do because you might not just be a fast speaker like your nature, right? But we kind of lucky that Lao and English, the kind of grammar that enable us to be able to do simultaneous translation because I heard Japanese is almost impossible in Japanese. Yeah.
Wow.
And accents are your barrier about translating.
Like different accents from the speakers. Yeah, definitely. You need to get used to it. A lot of accents that I find it difficult. There's a lot. My parents' own heritage accents, right? Indian accent, even like very very thick accent can be a bit difficult. Japanese accent can be difficult too. But at the end of the day, it depends on speaker. They can have the thick accent if they speak clearly enough. I think we can still understand despite the lack of experience with the accent.
Yeah, it takes time, right? It takes time to get used
adapt,
to and adapt with the various accents that are in the world.
Another thing that I'm curious about is that have you ever misinterpret the meaning of
Oh yeah.
of the I always amazed whenever I go to any events or conferences. I sometimes when I understand that language like English, I listen anyway or I understand Lao, I listen anyway because I feel amazed every time that you know like spontaneously
Exactly.
interpret all the meanings from Lao to English like wow. But I just wonder if you have ever missed
Yeah, I
that.
whether I missed, I'm not so sure, but usually sometimes you might have done it unconsciously. And but one thing that I knew that I was wrong is that I don't know words. For example, the word mak duai, right? If you're talking, I mean, if you're not used to that field or that topic that we're talking about, they're talking about this agriculture and they're talking about this crop, this product that you might not have received the materials before the meeting. You might not know. In that case, it's perfectly fine to me to just use the word. Yeah, and then you can try to, as I said, you can correct yourself at the end. You still have the window of 15 seconds or something like that. Okay, you can say, okay, when I was saying mak duai, I basically mean this. At the same time, try to find the translation for it right for example มักเดือ is jobs tears
Jobs tears
yeah
Is it jobs and tears
yeah like apostrophe jobs
Oh my
tears
god
บ่ฮู้คือกัน
I didn't know it before
so I mean there are things that you're not expected to know everything I mean you're not a dictionary you're not a machine but you're expected to know all the basics the technical terms everybody can learn yeah.
That is true no so and another thing is I wonder if you practice in your daily basis
well I won't practice on a daily basis because I do that on a daily basis so I don't have the energy to do that but for those who want to practice I would really suggest to do that I mean at least an hour a day if you want to do that at least an hour a day watch YouTube first start with they call shadowing right if just put on a headphone or listen to anything and then just if they're speaking a few sentences just speak like with a lag time of like 5 words and then follow them shadowing right the main mistake is what you speak in the same language don't translate yet until you're comfortable with the speed and until you can catch up until you can do everything then start translating and then I think that can be helpful
that could be like the first step to practice
a lot of things that we need to learn from Sanker in order to be simultaneous interpreter right Wally but I think for now we should take a little break
okay
do you want to request a song to listen for this break
any special song
well yeah I do have a song because it's a song of a friend of mine
yes
I think he released it recently he might have actually finished shooting his like music video or something it's called แล้วแต่ of Black Eyes
what is แล้วแต่ in English
depends
it depends on you
no but it also depends on the context
yes
so you see that wordplay
yes okay แล้วแต่กับ
เวลาเราต้องแบบ
แล้วแต่กันแล้วแต่
เป็นอย่าง attitude ต้องแฮงขนาดนั้นแล้วแต่
okay let's take a break let's take a break
okay this is ready let's take a break with this song and see you after the break
yeah don't go anywhere stay put
สั้นๆที่เจ้าอธิบายสั้นๆว่ามันจำเป็นที่ต้องขอไปเมื่อเฮ็ดทุกอย่างดีสุดเท่านี้ที่เหลือค่อยก็คงต้องขอยอมตามชะตากรรมก็แล้วแต่จะเฮ็ดแล้วแต่เจ้าจะตัดสินใจหลายกว่านี้ค่อยคงบ่มีปัญญาหลายกว่านี้ค่อยคงบ่อาจจะเฮ็ดได้ให้เจ้าลองไปหาสิ่งใหม่ที่มันต้องดีกว่าค่อยที่เฮ็ดได้ที่สุดเท่านี้สายใยหักบางๆที่จะวางไว้เป็นหนทางให้เฮาย่างมาสุดท้ายคือความบ่แน่นอนเจ้าสอนให้ค่อยได้หักจนปักใจสุดท้ายก็มาหักหลังหนีไปสร้างหรือจริงก็แล้วแต่จะเห็นแล้วแต่เจ้าจะตัดสินใจหลายกว่านี้ค่อยคงบ่มีปัญญาหลายกว่านี้ค่อยคงบ่อาจจะเฮ็ดได้เมื่อความต้องการของ กว่านี้ค่อยคงบ่อาจจะเฮ็ดได้ให้เธอลองไปหาสิ่งใหม่ที่มันต้องดีกว่าค่อยที่เฮ็ดได้ที่สุดเท่านี้ค่อยคงบ่มีปัญญาหลายกว่านี้ค่อยคงบ่อาจจะเฮ็ดได้เมื่อความต้องการของเจ้ามีหลายขึ้นทุกวันให้ไปเท่าใดก็บ่พอสุดท้ายมีเท่าใดก็บ่พอสำหรับเจ้า
Welcome back everyone
Hey, welcome back, and you're still with us. This is the Dabalil, and of course, our guest today, Sankerdas Latthanhot. Yeah. คือมีแบบหลายห้อยคนเลยเนาะ Oh, yeah, welcome back.
10,000 คน
Second
ออก
verse.
มา
10,000 คน, yeah. So the previous breakdown, we got to know Sanker, not even more, and of course, we talk about effective communication,
Yes.
about Akara.
Not yet
No, not yet. We haven't. We are
being interpreter and this break we're going to talk about Akara โอ้เสียงสุดยอดเลยถือว่าเอาเสียงถือว่า
Akara เนาะ
Akara I love the name of his company
No? So let's talk more about it. What is Akara?
Okay.
Man what is Akara
Well, Akara is it's a company that provides 3 types of services. We call ourselves a one-stop shop for conference organizing.
I thought you would say one stop shopping
No, one-stop shop. Like a one-stop conference organizing service.
I see
So we basically provide 3 types of services. The first one is what we call software services, like interpretation, emceeing,
Right.
note-taking, all of that stuff that will be needed or required in any meeting. And the second one would be the hardware part, where we provide all these audio-visual equipment in meetings.
Devices.
Yeah, like even computers, projectors, giant LED screen, like 20 square meter or up to that. The speakers, the microphone, all of that are needed for the conference and interpretation devices. And the third one is logistics. Logistics in terms of administrative work for the meeting. Let's say you need to send invitation. You need to manage the catering. You need to, I don't know, like you need car rental service to pick up people. You need to book tickets for people outside of Vientiane or something like that. So we are basically sort of a secretariat of the host of the meeting. So if any organizations or companies or governmental agencies that may not have the staff of the time, so that's when we come in, we fill that gap. Yeah.
Wow, no.
Interesting
So it's more than just like, translating, interpreting. No,
Yes, because in the first place, when I heard about the name Akara, I just only thought that you provide the service about like interpreting. But it's
So, yeah.
further than that, it's open than that. Akara, it's 3 services.
So let's say if any customer or organization just want to have a meeting, then
Yes.
they just tell you the idea and then you will arrange everything. No?
Correct.
Wow. No. And it's somehow a lot related to communication as well, as we mentioned last break. No?
Why did you name your company as Akara?
Akara.
Well, I mean, we've been looking for names, me and my business partner.
Why not แล้วแต่
Why not like that, right? We didn't come to that yet. But I mean, we thought putting our initials together to be abbreviation. We're putting both of our names. We're trying to come up with like creative wording. And at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I mean, the parent company of Google is Alphabet. Do you know that? So Google is owned by a company called Alphabet. And I was like, okay, Google is very famous, but their parent company is not called Google, it's called Alphabet. I was like, okay, maybe we can think about that. We need to come up with one solid word and we create a name, and then we say, okay, both of us started as being interpreters, and anything that is associated with translation, interpretation, and then we came up with Akara. Akara basically means letters, alphabet, symbols, right? You know? So that's how we came up with it while having some non-regular beverage.
Wow. But it's very easy for the foreigners to pronounce as well because like Akara, so it's like originally Akara because like some company as I have seen in Laos they try to put the name that it's very local name. It's very hard to the target customers, especially the foreigners, to pronounce. So I think that's such a good idea and very unique name as Akara.
Thank you.
Yeah, talking about the names, which is very interesting, right? But as far as I know, I think Akara is the first company or the first and the only company in Laos that is working like in terms of organizing like conferences or this kind of events, like all the things that Akara is doing right now. So I wonder about the beginning of coming up with this like business idea or business model of Akara. So would you share with us a little bit about that?
I mean, I mean, a good business is something that should solve a problem, right? And anything, I would say. And then we found a problem, me and my partner. We've been providing services besides interpretation. We provide these equipment rentals, like translation devices already. And we found that a lot of times the meeting rooms in different offices are not well equipped with the equipment needed for a smooth conference or good conference. And then we were saying that, okay, we need to do something to fill that gap. And it was like, if we're going to do that, why don't we make something like, okay, if the client does not have staff, if you have like a 5-people company and you are supposed to do something big, let's say, I don't know, like a big conference with your partner, new partner or something, you don't have the people running around to do all the stuff for you, right? So if they want to do that, who do they go to? So we think, yeah, maybe we should be that go-to person. And I think that's how we came up with this. And our company is not fully developed yet, I would say. We are providing a lot of services, but there's a lot of services that are still being developed under our company in order to provide the kind of service that our client would want.
You see the gap and you feel it. So what about the challenges? Are the challenges that Akara is facing in this moment?
We are short-staffed. We are very new, and because it's so new, the type of business itself, some people call it like professional congress organizer, and as you said, it might have been the only one or the first one or maybe like the first few, but we haven't found one, and therefore the market is not that responsive now, unless your existing clientele that we have that we are trying to provide the service. For example, last week we organized an event for I'm not so sure if I can say their organization, but it's a big international financial institution that is present in Laos. We provide translation services to them all the time anyway, and they're organizing this big event about small and medium enterprise solutions, and they came to us and they said, okay, I heard you're doing that, can you do this for us? And then we supported them to do that. A lot of things we learned from this event. In fact, we usually did smaller events. This one is the biggest for Akara as a unit, but me and my partner have done something else. But this one is the biggest one that Akara has an opportunity to do, and we learned a lot, and it was a lot of experience. So yeah, we did like 3D design of the floor plan, we do production of the backdrop, like videography, photography, decoration, translations, emceeing,
everything.
Like the whole package.
The whole package.
Yeah.
Wow.
Full services about the conference. More interesting. I'm super like very happy to get a chance to sit here and talk to you as a person about Akara, because I'm a big fan. I've been following you on the Facebook page and my mom as well. I need to add
Your mom?
Yes.
How does she know?
My mom, she's working at the Ministry of Agriculture.
Oh.
And
which department?
Yeah, and that time she told me that, you know what, I found one interpreter. He's like, หน้าฝรั่งดอก and he's super good. Why don't you like talk to him and learn from him? And at that time, I didn't know that this was you. And I showed her today the poster and she said, this is a person that I want you to talk. And the funniest thing, I'm super happy. I'm super happy. And for my mom as your client, she said that Akara services and you yourself super good at being a simultaneous interpreter.
I agree.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Please thank your mom for me as well. Thank you, mom.
Keep going. We are here to supporting you.
Yeah, I feel very grateful to sit here and interview you as well.
My pleasure too. Yes, thank you for interviewing me.
And before going further to the questions that Da wanted to ask a lot about relationship stuff, I want you to share with me, Sanker, about the tips for being this interpreter. Like I did before, like accidentally, I was an MC for an event, and then they came to me and they're like, can you translate this, because this person is going to give a speech, and then you can, and then I memorized it from somewhere that like an interpreter just like write something and then like translate from Lao to English or English to Lao, and I try to do, but then somehow I didn't find it like effective. I didn't find it. I did a like fine job, so maybe would you share with me 101 step of how to do it in the reality, like trying to memorize it or trying to jot it down.
That techniques depends on your nature. Like me and my partner, right? We have very different techniques. He does not take note that much. He would write one word and then he circle it, and that's it. That's the key word. Me, I took note of every single, almost every word, because that's just my style. Yeah. Like if you're doing consecutively, right? Because sometimes people tend to go off on and on and on and on, and then I mean you have the right to intervene. Like okay, maybe let me translate first before you continue. But I always try to hold on to the fact that I need to be able to take note of everything. I don't want to intervene them yet if they're still expressing the same idea, because I might prevent them expressing what they wanted to do. So instead of doing that, I try to take note of everything, and they can be speaking like almost 3 to 4 minutes before they stop, and then if you don't have a good note, you might not be able to translate as accurately as possible. And sometimes I have to take notes almost a page before they actually stop. It's just that my style, right? It works for me, but you have to find something that works for you, because like I told you, my partner, he's like 1 or 2 words. He's good at, he has good short-term memory.
So find like a trick that you feel that it's the best for you first, and then try to practice.
Yeah, try it. You gotta try it anyway.
And I just wonder if if Akara is going to maybe have a course or any training for people who want to be.
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah,
I would be like one of the first people.
Yeah, what we would love to do is, the thing is that part of being an interpreter is that I have very little time for other things. And at the end of the day, I mean, you're speaking 6 to 8 hours per day, if not more. And then you're tired at the end of the day, right? You just want to have a good meal, have a good sleep, and I'm not going to the gym anymore because of that. So you're very tired, but during the break, like I'm going to have a good break this December. And so I would take that time off to also reflect on what I've been doing, and then to plan for the future activities that we would do under Akara. One of the things that we have always wanted to do is to organize small workshops for different skills. One of them will be interpretation, probably.
I'm sure that a lot of people might be interested.
True.
No?
Well,
I think you want to ask these questions. Like I also highlighted these questions.
Really? Wow, that's my
You like triple underline.
Let's get a bit more private.
Let's get a bit more private.
It's
okay,
my personal interest.
I'll let you ask.
Because I personally know your other
Lovely
half.
wife.
Your significant other, I would
Significant
say.
other.
I like that term.
Yeah,
I like that
I know. I searched on the Google before, yeah. I know personally about your wife and your story a little bit, your relationship story, and I found out that you and your wife has a long distance relationship since being a boyfriend and girlfriend, and now you will become a couple, wife and husband. You're still having the long distance relationship.
Yeah.
And it's very tough, I would say. I just experienced myself. I would say it's super, super tough and difficult to handle. So my question is that...
Why are you taking this personally? just kidding, Sanker.
Yeah, I know. It is getting personal and I'm actually into it now. Okay. I'm going to be your psychologist now. Okay, tell me.
Why am I then?
This?
Okay. I mean, as an audience.
Yeah. I mean it's tough. That's for sure. It's very tough. You miss each other a lot, but because of her education and my work, we can't really go to see each other that often, and we don't have that kind of money to go to see each other that often because she's in Australia, very far away. But the thing is that I kind of understand a lot because I would hope that we both understand, because the first time when we had a long distance period, it was when I was away and she's here, and now she's away and I'm here, and I think the hardest part is for the person who is away, I would say, because we both experienced both, right? And I think those who are staying here, we have a lot of things to do. We have friends, we have all of the people, we have families, we have like the same social network that we have. We have a lot of support, I would say. Like, and me, I have a lot of support from my friends and families, and also I keep myself busy a lot. But for her, it's a lot tougher. And I've experienced, master's degree is something that is not that fun if you are actually really into it.
Agreed.
And yeah, she is. So I would say it's tougher for her, but what you can do, with the social media, you can talk to each other more often, and I think I don't have an advice to make it better. I think everybody has to find their own recipe to this long distance relationship. But one thing I can recommend is that being very patient. We can get angry sometimes. We can get annoyed sometimes by like very little thing and small things, and you just have to be patient and strong and talk to each other. And if you are open to each other, okay, I'm not feeling well, I'm feeling this bad, and then okay, you just don't intervene each other saying, okay, don't feel bad. You just, okay, I understand. Feel bad. You can let it out. Everybody's feeling bad, and you can feel bad. You can tell me what you're feeling bad, and then whatever I can help, I will. If I can't, I will find other sources of information for you or something. Like, be supportive. Yeah.
Can you feel lonely?
Oh, of course. Me and my wife, we've been together for like almost 2 years as a husband and wife, but we've been together for like 7 years before we got married. And so you get used to each other. And when you get used to each other, there are certain things that you want the other person to always be with you when you do it. Going to the movie theater, right? That's something simple, but if I don't think I have been to the movie theater without her yet. Still haven't seen the movie. Yeah.
Indeed. Wow.
But I know it's tough, but you just have to find it. But I think it's being patient and being supportive, and I'm not that good myself. I did a lot. I was not patient. I was not being as supportive as I could, but I tried to be.
Train ourselves to be. Yeah. So do you have anything you want to say to her? I am sure that she's listening to us.
Yeah, she might be studying. It's late for her as well. Well, I just want to say that just work hard and have fun a bit. If you miss your family, call them. If you miss me, call me.
That's a wrap up for today. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Are you patient enough
not sure but I will try to be I will try
But thank you for sharing Sanker I think
Yes.
this is important as well for the couples that even they're not far from each other understanding being there for each other being supportive it's super important
Can I say one thing before we
Yeah
There's one thing that I think it's important not only in work in like interpretation communication as a person I used to teach as well that's also important and also a relationship I think you have to have the empathy The empathy as I would define it is the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes right you understand things as they are not as you are and that's going to help you to be a good marketer to be a good communicator to be a good partner as well to be a good friend as well right so I think that that's very important and I think for those who want to be a good communicator search the word empathy and communication and you would find a lot of stuff for the word empathy because that's going to help you to be a good communicator at the end
True that's the word that you let we asked you before
Empathy
and then that's the answer
That's what I told my student as well this word I think it's important
I think that's the main idea for like solving all the problems that we have right now as well because a lot of problems caused from the miscommunication no well that's a lot of things that we talked about during this 1 hour and a bit more anyway we have one last activity for you Sanker
last but not least
Do I get prizes no
probably not but could be who knows choose one question out of this box and answer Doi
That's very tightว่าจังได๋
คำถามว่า
สิ่งใดที่คิดว่าเป็นการกระทำผิดพลาดที่สุดในชีวิตของตัวเองและย้อนหยัง That's deep
coming to this show
สิ่งใดที่เป็นการกระทำผิดพลาดที่สุดIt's really hard for me to answer that question because I mean I feel that if you feel that was a mistake that you have just made you would feel that way for just a day or two but like and for the rest of your life you could feel that is a very good experience that's a very good lessons that you learn and I think I would not say I have that big of a mistake I don't know I couldn't think of like concrete big mistake
because like everything you make before you made the decision you like think twice and you don't have any regrets for everything that's why
well I now yeah if I think about it I mean there's one thing that I think is really bad is that I'm not so sure if I can say that out here but it basically I have this behavior that is affecting my health physical health that I don't think anybody should do like the entire world should not do and I've been trying to stop that behavior for a long time and I quit it before I relapsed and I think that would probably be the mistake there and I think nobody should ever even started trying or doing it but I still do because it's still a mistake that I'm still living with I would say
but you know what the good thing is being conscious about that like that you want to change at least and I think maybe in the near future you would be able to overcome this
at least you realize that you have this problem and that's the very first step to solve every problem in life and after that we supporting you and we เป็นกำลังใจให้to overcome that
Thank you very much
Sanker
Wow 1 hour is very short I actually have so many things that I want to talk with Sanker
Sanker can come back again anytime
okay
before we say goodbye you do have any the final statement that you want to talk with our listeners out there
well just I guess just whatever you do be kind whatever you say be kind and whatever you say and do just make the other person happy. I would say that's just life.
True
Sympathy.
Absolutely agree
Yeah.
Absolutely agree and ฝากไว้ Akara
อาคารันเนาะ
โดยฝากกันไว้เนาะบริษัท Akara เป็นแบบ one stop service เรื่องการให้บริการทางเกี่ยวกับ conference เรื่องกล่องประชุม
ต่างๆแม่นอกจากจะจัดกล่องประชุมให้แล้วแบบว่ามีทุกอย่างในหันเพิ่นบอกว่าเป็น one stop shop ก็คือว่ามาอาคาระได้มาทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างเลย
แม่นแล้วเนาะสำหรับวันนี้ thank you so much for your time
ขอบใจเช่นเดียวกัน
ขอบใจ
and thank you so much for our listeners who are listening us and drop your questions and your thought we really appreciate that even we didn't read your comments out loud but we saw that we saw on the live ถ้าว่าผู้ใดที่ว่าหากระมุนขึ้นมาอยากฟังเพิ่มเติมกับไปเบิ่งคืนได้อยู่เพจเนาะเรา use radio
แม่เนาะเพราะว่าเขามี record ไว้อยู่ทันตลอดเวลาสามารถแชร์หรือว่าหมายความว่าแบ่งปันเนาะกับหมู่หลายๆคนที่ว่าอาจจะมีความมักฮักในด้านนี้ที่ว่าเขาได้แชร์กันไปในมื้อนี้หรือว่าผู้ใดที่ว่านี่แหละรู้จักไอซังเกอร์เลยมักไอซังเกอร์มาได้ดดแล้วแชร์ให้หมู่ฮู้
อยากเป็น simultaneous interpreter เนาะไอก็แนะนำหลาย tips ที่น่าสนใจก็นึงในหันที่ว่าจืดตัวนี้ก็คือแม่นบ่ต้อง mix ภาษาI will try my best to solve this problem in me สำหรับมื้อนี้ข้าพเจ้าดีเจด้าเอ้ยบาลีไอซังเกอร์ให้อย่างผิดพลาดประการใดต้องได้ขอโทษขออภัยหลายๆเนาะเบรกหน้ารายการต่อไปอยู่กับเอ้ยบาลีในรายการ Let's Speak English
เจ้าแม่น
โด
แล้ว
ยสามารถไปเรียนคำศัพท์อย่างที่เอ้ยเอาเพิ่นมาแชร์ได้มื้อขึ้นมา90.0 สำหรับวันนี้3คนพวกเราต้องได้ลาไปละเด้อต้องขอกล่าวคำว่า
สบายดี
บาย
มันต้องหมุนเวียนไปแต่มันต้นเท่าใดหัวใจบ่มีเปลี่ยนพันและก็หูว่าความจริงเจ้านั้นจากไปแต่ว่าไกลเท่าใดหัวใจก็ยังห่วงหาเพียงหลับตานอนคิดถึงคุณค่าเวลาที่มันจางหายไปและในวันนี้บ่มีเจ้าคืนกลับมาได้หูว่าเจ้ามีค่าเพียงใดในวันที่เสียเจ้าไปและในวันนี้เคยต้องทนอยู่กับความเหงา
ฮอบฮู้ทั่วทิศก็ติดทุกข่าวกับ FM 90.0 MHz ต่อไปขอเชิญท่านรับฟังข่าวต้นสมง
คณะอนุกรรมการเนื้อในและขบวนการระดับชาติลงติดตามความคืบหน้าการฝึกซ้อมของนักเรียนเนื่องในโอกาสการจัดงานเฉลิมฉลองวันสั่งตั้งเมืองเวียงไซฐานที่มั่นของการปฏิบัติครบรอบ50 ปีวันที่15 พฤศจิกายน 2018 ที่ผ่านมานี้ทานกิ๊กแก้วไขคำพิทูลคณะเลขาธิการส่วนกลางภาคหัวหน้าคณะโฆษณาอบรมส่วนกลางภาคทั้งเป็นหัวหน้าอนุกรรมการเนื้อในและขบวนการระดับชาติได้ลงติดตามสุกยุความคืบหน้าในการฝึกซ้อมสดุดีของนักเรียน600 คนเพื่อการเก็บรับใช้ในการจัดงานเฉลิมฉลองวันสั่งตั้งเมืองเวียงไซฐานที่มั่นของการปฏิบัติครบรอบ50 ปีซึ่งจะจัดขึ้นในท้ายเดือนพฤศจิกายน 2018 นี้ประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐอเมริกาลงพื้นที่ภัยพิบัติไฟไหม้ป่าในรัฐแคลิฟอร์เนียตามข่าวต่างประเทศในวันบุญวันนี้ท่านโดนัลด์ทรัมป์ประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐอเมริกาได้เดินทางไปยังรัฐแคลิฟอร์เนียเพื่อติดตามความคืบหน้าในการแก้ไขปัญหาไฟไหม้ป่าข้างมูลแห่งจำนวน2จุดนับตั้งแต่ต้นเดือนพฤศจิกายนที่ผ่านมานี้ซึ่งเหตุการณ์ดังกล่าวส่งผลให้มีผู้เสียชีวิตแล้วเกือบ80 คนสูญหายอีกจำนวน 1,300 คนและสิ่งปลูกสร้างหลายกว่า 12,700 กว่าแห่งได้รับความเสียหายอย่างหนักหน่วงในขณะที่ปัจจุบันเจ้าหน้าที่ดับเพลิงของรัฐดังกล่าวก็กำลังเร่งกำลังในการเข้าควบคุมไฟไหม้ป่าดังกล่าวนี้อย่างรีบด่วนท่านฮู้บ่ว่าไผเป็นผู้คิดค้นสูตรปูนซีมังเป็นคนทมิตของโลกผู้ที่คิดค้นสูตรปูนซีมังเป็นคนทมิตของโลกแม่นท่านโยเซฟแอบดินซึ่งคิดค้นเป็นครั้งทมิตในปี 1824
สนใจลงโฆษณาประชาสัมพันธ์ติดต่อที่หมายเลข020 554 00099 020 2224 7776 030 581 5389 หรืออีเมล laoyouthradio@gmail.com